Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Wasteland Let's Play. So, today we're going to try to finish off the freezer. We've got most of it mined out, and so it's just going to be a matter of getting the rest of that done, walling it off, and then, of course, if we need to, putting in more coolers. I have one, and this is a fairly large space, so I'm willing to bet that we'll need maybe 3, but we'll start with one and just keep adding them until it seems to hold at the temperature we want. I think what I'm going to do is put an auto door in right here when we have the ability to do that, so that that's really the only access point to the freezer. That way we don't have people traveling through it, but the people that are cooking have easy access to whatever's in there. I think that's going to be probably the best way to go about it, but we'll certainly see. So, what else? I would really like to get these guys a proper bathroom, but unfortunately, I need somewhere to dump the waste. And so, I don't know that we'll really be able to do that until, like, we're going to need to mine out to this river, basically, so that we can have, like, a sewage outlet. And by the time we do that, we may have the technology to just completely circularize our plumbing so that the waste is getting processed rather than dumped. And obviously that's the ideal situation, but we're going to have to work toward it. And then one last thing, a question for anybody familiar with modding. By the way, I did fix these so they're not big pink squares anymore. But not for this mod, another mod I'm working on for the Warhammer stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to adjust which graphic layer applies on top of what. So for example, when they move forward, see the head's on top of the torso, and when they move, I wasn't quick enough, hold on, let me do it again. Damn, he's fast. Alright, Perkin, I need a little bit more space. So when they're walking away, you can see that the head is still over the body. What I'm trying to do is create something with a large backpack, and so I want the head to be behind the body, if that makes sense, so that you'd see sort of his torso there and just the head sticking out on top of it. And I don't know if that's possible, but if any of you are familiar with RimWorld modding and know how to make something like that happen, please let me know. Oh, there's Locke showing it off too. Please let me know, because I'm trying very hard to make that happen. So anyways, let's get started. It looks like we've got a rice harvest happening. Perkin has an inspired recruitment. These aren't as good as they used to be, unfortunately, because now you have to deal with resistance, and so it's sort of a matter of... why did I put that there? We can always tear it down later, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. Now that you have to deal with resistance, you can either use that inspired recruitment to get rid of the resistance, or you can use it to recruit somebody whose resistance is gone. But before, you could just use it to outright recruit somebody, so pretty significant nerf there, but what are you going to do? So right now they're putting in the columns there so that we can effectively mine out everything around this and not have to worry about collapses. We're going to do the same for each growing zone, so there's just going to be sporadic columns to hold that up. But I would prefer they get back to mining. I'm going to have to cancel all of this probably. Yeah. Just for right now. We're going to ask them to hold off on that. It's fine if they do this, I guess, because that should be done relatively quickly, but I, again, really want that to happen. Oh boy. Okay, and they've finished sowing our rice. Where are they moving the rice to right now? Are they just leaving it there? I suppose that's fine, because it's considered refrigerated in here, huh? Yeah, it's below 10 degrees, so it is a bit chilly. But either way, it's indoors, so at least it's not going to rot or anything really quickly. Let's go ahead and lay this on in. There we go. And we'll start running conduits through there kind of as we go. This is going to be another doorway, so we'll leave that be. And as soon as they're done with this, hopefully they get back to the freezer, or they finish this up. I mean, again, I prefer this happens first. And that needs to be a wall. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get proper bathrooms for a little while, which really bums me out. Let's see. Power, power, power. Okay, so let's keep running conduits through here as we go. That looks fine to me. I mean, that'll need to be covered up as well, so we'll just put it there. And I think this is going to need to cross. I'll deal with that later, because I'll have to figure out how best to hide those. I don't like having conduits exposed if I can help it, but obviously I can't always help it. So Pearl's working on that. Perkin, you're okay, so you guys are working on the freezer. Good. Fantastic. That needs to be walled as well. Let's see, doors. Structure. I always have such a hard time with these tabs because different playthroughs I have different tabs over here, and I'm always looking in different places for them. So yeah, we only have regular doors right now, which, I mean, will suffice, but obviously an auto door would be preferable. We can use a wooden door. It'll open a little bit faster than a steel door. My only concern with that is our lack of wood, and somebody did point out that I need to get this inside eventually because it is going to deteriorate. We got plenty of time, but I shouldn't leave it too long or we'll lose what little wood we actually have. But yeah, we'll need to get that in there along with the silver too. Obviously we don't want to just leave the silver sitting out. And you know, I guess I can do that real quick. Let's go ahead and create a stockpile. Wrong tab again. And we'll just set this for preferred priority, clear all. I don't know that that's relevant. But let's see. Raw resources, we want silver and wood. And we'll get those in here. I mean, obviously that's not going to be permanent, but we'll just get them under a roof. Let's do that. Hold off on that one just to make sure that corner gets placed, and we'll make sure we run conduit through that as well. But yeah, so let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, this doesn't need to be here because the room isn't big enough where any part of that roof would be more than 6 tiles away from a wall. I think at maximum we're looking at like 3 tiles away. Yeah, so it should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's slightly off center. Maybe I'll put another cooler here. I don't recall whether or not can they move over this? I need to try it. Lock, come here. So they can move past those. I'm pretty sure the air can move past as well then. So that shouldn't block this from working. Meaning, I don't know if we can put one here. But I like to keep things symmetrical, and obviously this being an even numbered distance, it's kind of hard to do that without having even numbers of coolers. But we'll see. I could do one there, and if I need more, I could do it like here and here or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out. And I can also vent into the hallways if needed. It's not really a big deal. If anything, we're probably going to need to heat this base, and so, you know, blowing off the excess heat into just the rest of the base is totally fine. Okay, that can be built now. Let's continue with that, and the conduits as well. Pretty quick on that. I like how fast they jump on stuff when I need it done. And it looks like we've missed a bit of wall here as well, so I need that there, and that can run all the way to the end. And this is not quite finished, but they did make some progress on it. We'll want to put that there and that there. And again, those are going to be sort of like the public restrooms. Everybody will have a small bathroom in their little, private rooms, but these will be just sort of in the main area where people can use them after they eat or before they eat. It seems like they kind of use them right before they wake up and then at some point later in the day. So maybe they wake up, they use their private restroom, eat breakfast, go about their business, working or whatever, and then come back in, eat dinner, use the restroom, go to bed. I don't know. We'll see. There might be an excessive amount of restrooms, but they don't like being walked in on when they're using the bathrooms, and so having an excess is generally a good idea. And I believe the way it works is unless they're actively using the sinks or the showers or the toilets, you're not wasting any water. So having a toilet there that's usable doesn't necessarily waste water unless somebody's actively using it. So there's not any real downside to having an excess of toilets aside from the material cost of building them and the spatial cost of them occupying an area. But again, that could be wrong. I am a novice when it comes to that mod. So we're using marble, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and fill these in. Don't know what I'm going to do with... I guess I'll probably just keep the floors consistent because I have quite a lot of marble bricks at this point. Marble blocks. And I do, again, need a way to get rid of a lot of this material because as we mine, we're just going to keep accruing more and more chunks. And then, so if I'm not cutting the chunks up and building stuff with them, then I am just going to have a lot of them by the end of this. Okay, so there's that. But yeah, so I don't know. This is by far my most popular series right now. I don't know how many people watching this are necessarily fans of like Warhammer 40k or my other Let's Plays, but that is going to be the newest RimWorld Let's Play I start, is the Warhammer one, as soon as I finish, or at least get to a decent starting point with the mod I'm working on for that. And so, that was what I was referring to when I was asking the question about the texture layers. I've done quite a bit of work for it. I've probably bitten off more than I can chew, but I want this to be like really, really awesome. And so I'm doing things that I haven't really seen in other mods. There are other Warhammer 40k mods, obviously, just like there are other Fallout mods, but I want to do something very specific. So I'm going in more detail and trying to be a little bit closer to the lore than I feel like those other mods are, but not in a way that hampers gameplay. So the mod I used in my previous Warhammer playthrough was pretty detailed, but everything in that mod required like special components and like special materials, and so it became a real drag on gameplay because we were constantly processing components into Imperial components and like digging up ceramite and then refining the ceramite and then turning the ceramite into a different thing. And so what I've done is I've tried to make a fairly detailed Warhammer 40k mod, but only using vanilla resources or very, very simple to acquire resources. Like I'm gonna have ceramite in there, but ceramite is gonna be a lot easier to come by than it was in other mods I've seen. So basically ceramite will be just something you process out of stone chunks. So it will involve a bit of work, but it's not going to be particularly difficult to get. You won't need to research a bunch of things or process 3 different resources to get there down a big chain. It'll just require a bit of work from somebody, and you'll be using quite a lot of it. I'm not going to bother with like adamantium or anything like that. I think I do have rockcrete in there, and rockcrete again is just like ground up stone chunks. So it's going to be things like that. Let's see. We did get the wood inside. Oh, there was actually quite a bit of wood. Okay, I don't feel so bad about building a wooden door then. So let's grab... Why do I always go to furniture for doors? And then I click on zone, which is even further. Okay, so wooden door right there. And once we have the wooden door, we can go ahead and allow these to be built. I will need a light in here, though. What's going to be the best light? I will pause for this because this is going to take some doing. So I think this one works better for evens. Yeah. So that's pretty much dead center, and I think just one will be sufficient. This doesn't need to be super well lit. People are just going to be picking up food and dropping off food. It's not like they're actively working in here, although we will probably dump a butchering table in here just for convenience, but that's not something that, you know, needs to be super efficient. Okay, and so that is our freezer done. We were successful with our main goal today. But anyways, with that mod, I'm trying to be very faithful and very detailed. I want things to be earned, but not in the way of just research, because that's kind of boring. And so I don't know if I've talked about this before, but there's going to be different tiers of, you know, armor and weapons, some of which you can only acquire through quests. So, at least with the weapons, there's just going to be regular weapons. And they'll be divided through research by when you're researching the basic stuff, you'll unlock, you know, some of the ballistic weapons, and then from there you can go into like bolt weapons or las weapons or plasma weapons, and then once you've researched all those different types of weapons, there will be an additional tier that is master crafted, and that will unlock the same variety of weapons but in a slightly more ornate looking fashion, and you know, they'll have slight improvements to accuracy and things like that. And then there will be another tier beyond that that would be relic stuff, and those are all unique, and you'll only be able to get those through quests, or at least that's what I'm shooting for. And those will be even more detailed. Each one will have its own little texture. Obviously, you know, like a relic bolt pistol, still going to look like a bolt pistol, it'll just have, you know, something slightly different about it. And there'll be things like, you know, the Pistol of Ball from Dawn of War 2, stuff like that. I don't know what specific effects those things would have, but that's sort of the idea. And the same is true for armor, but with armor, it'll be just, well, because I'm trying to eventually include the Imperial Guard as well, so it would be like flak armor, then carapace armor, then power armor, and so that would cover like your regular guardsmen, and then your Kasrkin, and various stormtroopers, and your Space Marine scouts, I guess, because they're technically wearing just a better version of carapace armor. And then into power armor, you have your, you know, your Space Marine power armor, your Sisters of Battle power armor, Inquisitor power armor, if I get that far. And then from there, you'll have your Artificer armor, which is going to be for like the ornate Space Marine armor captains and whatnot. And what else? Let's speed things up a bit, because they're not really doing much other than sleeping right now. Then you'll get into like Terminator armor, and for the armor there will be relics as well. Again, only be able to get those through quests, and some of it will be like riffs off of things from Dawn of War. Some of it I might kind of just make up for myself, but because I'm doing at least the Blood Ravens initially, everything will be kind of geared around them, and then down the line I'd like to release other chapters, but that is potentially a pipe dream. We'll see if I ever make it that far, because I'd like to do the other 40k factions as well. For the playthrough, I'll probably just be using the... oh man, what's the mod called? It's like Magos Biologists or something like that, and it adds in pretty much all the Xenos factions. So I'll probably be using that in conjunction with my own Imperium mod, and then eventually I'll have my own, you know, Warhammer 40k enemies in that mod, but that will take some doing. Let's get these reconnected so that the wires aren't all over the place, and hopefully somebody gets around to that. They can get in here now, although this needs to get moved. Oh, transport pod crash. A mental patient named Giggles, oh god, is crashing Okay. So, these people generally join you as soon as they're recovered. Let's see. Oh, you're bleeding pretty badly. But that's not going to be too difficult to deal with. So, you're a body pierce and a careful shooter. You don't like interaction, social interaction, cooking, firefighting, or mining. But let's see. We could put you to work as a farmer, and with a bit of practice, you could become a decent fighter. At least good enough to help guard the base. And then maybe crafting. So farming and crafting, I think, will be her main jobs. So yeah, we'll try to rescue her. I'm going to send Grim out to grab her. Oh, I need a bed first, don't I? Let's see. I don't have any beds. So, let's build a copy here. I'm going to ask... I forget. Perkin was our builder? Yeah. Perkin, I'm going to ask you to do that real quick. And then I'm going to send Grim to go grab her. But you should be able to knock that out really fast. Okay, there we go. Okay. Grim. Rescue. Go, go, go. And she's got a good bed that will be hers. We'll get her looking kind of normal once she actually joins the colony. Right now she looks kind of weird. Weird haircut, and she looks a bit like a man. Like Hulk body type. And what's going on with that hair? She's got like Sasuke hair from Naruto. Let's see. We have 8 hours, probably a little bit closer to 6 now. So hopefully we have time to stop the bleeding. We finally have medicine to treat people, so I probably won't use any unless she gets an infection, but at least, you know, we have some on hand if that becomes an issue. And let's see, Pearl, what are you up to? No, Pearl, I need you on standby. We'll let somebody else go grab the resources there. Okay. Pearl, perfect. Hold on. Health, yeah, perfect. Herbal medicine. Oh, and toxic buildup. Yeah, just stop the bleeding. How are you doing? Ooh, you have a bit of toxic buildup as well. Kind of need to get that latrine inside. But I'd rather just go straight to toilets if I could. I don't know that that's possible, though. We have basins. Like, we can build toilets. It's just I can't really use them. I can get the water in. I just have nowhere to put the sewage out, if that makes any sense. Although, if you are more familiar with the mod and you know of a way that we can make that work, please let me know. Let's make sure that they build that. But as I understand it, we need water coming in and then sewage going out. And the water coming in isn't a problem. We know that there's plenty of underground water here. We can build the, what do you call it? I think it's this water well. Yeah, that access groundwater. We can drop it like right here where that well is. And then use a pump, like an electric pump, next to it to pump the water out. And then we just throw down like a water tower, or I think there are other, I hope there are other ways to store water. If not, we can fit the tower in here. But we pump that to there, and then we, you know, run pipes to, say, the bathroom, put the toilet in there. They'll be able to use the toilet, but then there's nowhere for them to flush it to, because I would need an outlet into water, I believe. I don't think we can outlet onto the ground. So I need to run a pipe. I guess I could run it to here, like just straight through the open, but I don't like that. I was thinking of just running it out here until we can do the enclosed system and just turn the waste into something useful. But again, I'm not super familiar with this mod. This is the first time I've really experimented with it. So feel free to weigh in on that and let me know if I am mistaken or if there's a better way. Let's see, building. Is there cooler doors? No, I'm just gonna use regular steel doors, I think. So steel doors on the bathrooms there so that nobody gets interrupted while they're using them. And I guess we could fit showers or like bathtubs in here, right? Because they're 3x3. And we would want a basin, not a wood basin, but we'd have a basin, we'd have a toilet. And there are 1x1 showers, or even like smaller showers. But we can also do like marble bathtubs, so people could actually wash in these. That seems kind of excessive though. I wonder, because these are 3x3, I could divide them even further, like so. I'm gonna forbid these so that they don't actually come and do that. But just so you guys can kind of see it, we could do that. Then we could put doors in, right there. Toilet. Although I think they need more space than that. I don't think they can stand on top of the toilet. So maybe that won't work. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, we'll figure something out, but I don't know, maybe they'll just be nice little spacious bathrooms. We should get some lighting in there though, because if it's dark, we risk infestations. I mean, we risk them either way, but the percentage chance is a lot lower if the area is lit. Also, if it's cold. And it is cold. Not cold enough, unfortunately, to prevent them outright. It's got to be like negative... somewhere around like negative 15 to negative 20. Oh, great. Well, luckily we don't have any batteries, so it didn't really hurt us. Ah, right, we need I'll just grab them from here. We need conduits. Crap. Well, for now, let's just do this. But obviously we need to get something running up there. I guess for now I can just do that. It's good enough. But eventually we'll just run it, you know, under the door or whatever is there. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've set up a stockpile in the freezer for all of our raw foods. There's actually two separate stockpiles in here because I left the medicine one just temporarily. Obviously, once we have a hospital, we'll store it in there, but for now, that's fine. We've also got some cargo pods with synthread. I'll take that. I don't know where we're going to store it, though. I don't know that we have a stockpile geared for that. I wish they wouldn't have brought all that steel in, but I guess that's my fault for not forbidding it. But steel doesn't deteriorate, so there's no reason to worry about hauling it in until we, like, desperately need it. Or we think we might need it. Okay, so Giggles is no longer incapable of walking. Whenever she gets up, she should join the colony. And we'll get her into a vault suit. Again, we'll tweak her appearance a bit. And, oh, we have a blocked drain. Okay. Locke, you're kind of our janitor right now, so make that happen. I know you're like a surgeon, but since you're the worst of our two doctors and nobody needs doctoring right now, you are kind of the janitor. But yeah, she should be hopping up fairly soon, I think. Consciousness is weakened. It's at 70% though, so I think we'll be seeing her get up very, very soon. And we should be mining right now, shouldn't we? Yeah, we should. So let's order the mining of this hallway for starters. Let's make that happen. And then let's do that hallway. And I'd like to get this little habitation area dug out so that we can get them out of this hallway here and living in proper bedrooms. And since these are so large, they should be very, very happy with them. We'll kind of decorate them as we go. I'm not going to worry too much about the decorations to begin with, but we'll try to work up to some pretty comfortable living spaces because not everybody is going to be an undergrounder like our current pawns are. Everybody we started with undergrounder, but people like Locke or Giggles that have come in later aren't going to have that, and so we're going to need to offset their unhappiness with, you know, constantly being indoors and potentially, well, hopefully not in dark spaces. Hopefully we'll have this base pretty well lit all the time. But having a nice bedroom will help offset some of those penalties. Let's go ahead and reconnect that. Okay, it doesn't want to go straight. Well, I guess it can't go straight down, can it? Because it's in a 2x2 space. Alright, what else do we got going on? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We got the freezer, so now we can store the food as we get it. We need somewhere for that synth thread. Struck compacted steel. Nice, that'll be useful. I mean, we have plenty now, but steel is always helpful. Let's expand that a bit, and I'm going to allow synth thread in here as well. Well, I'm just gonna say no. Items, no. Why would it be under that? Apparel, nope. Is it manufactured? Yeah, textiles. So the synth thread should be able to be stored in there. Giggles, are you gonna get up or what? Blood loss is down to minor, so yeah, I mean, she's got to be getting ready here. I'm also going to ask them to mine all of this out, and we'll start laying in some walls here. So we've got even more cargo pods. I don't know why we're getting so many of them. I might need to turn the difficulty up. I'm playing on the same Randy rough difficulty that I always do. Always Randy's the storyteller, always rough difficulty. But I think because of the toxic fallout, the permanent toxic fallout, the game thinks we're having more issues than we are, and so it's trying to balance that maybe. That's the only thing I can think of, because we're not having anywhere near this much luck in our other playthroughs. Or at least we haven't. I don't know if they've made rough difficulty easier, but I certainly haven't had cargo pods rain on me like this in any other playthrough, so I might have to turn the difficulty up to mitigate that, because right now they're just throwing free resources at us left and right, and we don't really need them. And we haven't really seen anything nasty happen. Granted, like, one bad infestation could easily wipe us out. But so far, we haven't seen that. And I don't know if we will for a long time. We will get an infestation eventually. It's just inevitable. But at this rate, it seems like that's going to be a long, long way off. So we've got a quest opportunity for an item stash. It's just a synthetic lung. I don't think I'm interested in that, so I'm not even going to look into it at all. So there we go. That wall is finished. Let's get the conduits run through here as well. More cargo pods. What is going on? Free components. Sure. Why not? The pemmican is actually pretty useful, although given how many of these meals we have, I don't know that we necessarily needed it. Okay, so Giggles is fully healed. She's just going to leave. Weird. Normally when they get rescued and they get up, they join immediately. She's a Southern Thane. Is that a faction that we're familiar with? Yeah, okay, so maybe that's why. I think they have to be factionless to do that. So she'll leave the map and we'll have better relations with them. I don't necessarily need her, so I'm not like heartbroken that she didn't join. She's not the best character ever by any means. Not that she was bad. But at least we'll be a little bit friendlier with this faction, and yeah, I mean, that's a good start. We can try to befriend them eventually and have them help us out if we get into any trouble. Also, more floors. I want to... Oh, I already had it open. I want to lay down the floorings here so I know not to wall that off. And we can start doing it in the hallways too, but I don't want to do that just yet, because I'm more concerned with them being mined out. We should kind of try to light them as we go. More cargo pods! Oh my god. And it's free potatoes. Sure, whatever. Those bugs are going nuts over there. I wish I had a pet at times like this, because the dog or whatever could go grab that stuff for us. How is this doing, by the way? Okay, so it's holding at -10. I think that's largely in part to the fact that it's very cold in the base in general. So as we start to heat the base, I think we will need to... Well, it's actually... I mean, 14 is chilly, but that's definitely a livable temperature, so... That's not too bad. We'll stick with the 1 for now, and we can always add more later, but obviously there's no point in adding additional ones if we don't need them. Although it might be a good idea just to have an extra 1 or 2 that are turned off by default, and then if we really need them, we can kick them on. Okay, so I would like you... I'm going to do this in kind of a weird way. I'm going to mine the walls out first. Lay the walls back in. Okay, so she exited the map. We got 14 for that. Cool. So we should be at +14 with them. As I was saying, I'm going to mine out the walls first. Lay them back in with stone blocks. And then mine out the actual room. I know that seems kind of backwards, but I find it easier to kind of keep my plans in order when I do it that way. So we'll do that and go from there. I should be able to do these. And that'll be 2 bedrooms. We'll probably throw Pearl and Perkin into one, and I kind of like the idea of Grim being in this one. If he's our main fighter, he should be like the closest to the exit. So I think we'll do Grim here and then Pearl and Perkin there. Also, Grim, were you and Schmidt having a thing? No, not really. He likes Tadashi. I mean, he kind of likes everybody. Schmidt doesn't like him back. So I guess not. I thought they were having a thing, but maybe I'm thinking of my other playthrough we've got going on. Okay, so we'll do walls there. That's going to be the door. But we do need lighting in that hallway. So let's do one right there. And how far apart did I do these? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's the 12th one. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll have a light there. That looks like it will connect. And we'll try to keep adding those as we go. Alright, so we have our first threat in quite a while here. And it's a pair of Manhunter Foxes. They're getting pretty close to the base, so I'm going to call up everybody with a weapon. You know what, Pearl? You're not a terrible shot, but you are the doctor, so I'm wondering if I should give your gun to Locke. Where are you right now? Okay, you're eating. Finish eating. Perfect. Oop. Drop your gun. Grim, I need you out and ready to go. Tadashi, same deal. Get out here. Schmidt, get out here. We're just gonna unload on them like crazy. And then Locke, you need to go pick up her pistol. And we'll send him out there as well. Where are they going? Oh, they're going around the water. Okay. Well, that delayed them a little bit. Or maybe it didn't. I don't know. But certainly wasn't a very direct path. Okay, you're eating. As soon as you're done with that, I need you out here as well. Come on. Right there's good. Actually, I don't want them too clustered together, but I also don't want friendly fire, so hopefully that will work. Okay, there's one downed, and that one's taking quite a bit of fire and not dropping. There it is. Okay, so we downed them both. Do we want a pet fox? I always forget how far you can train foxes. Well, that one is pretty badly beat up, so we'll probably just finish that one off. In fact, I think we'll finish them both off. Foxes aren't the best pets, so Mark them both for hunting. All of you can get back to whatever you were doing. Grim. Don't melee attack it. There we go. Prioritize hunting, and he should basically just walk up and slit their throats. Oh, let's get rid of that so we don't have that notification. There's one down, and let's see. You're washing when you're done with that. No, don't consume it. Definitely don't consume it. Oh, I forgot that they rot like instantly. Oh, I need to configure this for corpses. That's my fault. So let's see. Corpses. Animal corpses. Yes. Hybrid alpha corpses. Sure. But yeah, definitely grab that. I think this one's already too late because of the toxic fallout. Yeah, I think we got that one. This one, unfortunately, is too late. Oh well. I thought you were just going to dump it there. Don't dump it with the sewage. And it looks like we've cooked basically all the rice, because there was quite a bit of rice built up in here, and I think Tadashi's going through it pretty fast. We're making decent progress up here. Unfortunately, he just walled that off, so we can't get in there. But I've basically just told them to start mining at this point, and I should be able to figure out where the walls go. Unfortunately, I was counting this out, and this is going to end up right here, so like one short of where I'd want it. So I might just put it here when we get that to that point, and you know, it'll just have to be slightly further than these are, or we'll see. But I don't think moving this over will help. I think that will just make this distance longer than that one. It's kind of in a weird spot, but oh well. Alright, so with everybody sleeping, I think that's where we're going to end it for today. I'm going to continue working on this mining and stuff off camera, so hopefully by the next episode we'll have this much further along, or maybe even 1 or 2 rooms finished. But I think we made pretty good progress today. Our freezer is done, and that was like the biggest thing that we needed to have happen. And we got these bathrooms dug out as well. We made more progress on this than I was expecting to, so that's fantastic. And we seem to be completely set in terms of food. We have more meals than we can even eat. And this one rice little planter area alone seems to be outputting more than enough food. So with the additional ones that we build, we can definitely focus on other things. Cotton, definitely going to be one of them, or cloth. And heel root are going to be 2 big ones. So that's probably what we'll see with the next 2. And then as we move into other ones, we'll probably need to add additional food, because by that point, I'm sure we'll have extra colonists. And I think eventually we're going to transition over to corn as well, because corn will not need to be harvested nearly as often as rice, and will give us a greater yield. But right now, I think rice is a safer bet, just because that high turnover makes it less susceptible to, you know, crops dying and stuff like that. If they die out, we can replant them and they grow back very fast. If you do that with corn, unfortunately, you can lose out on a lot of food that way. So rice, very safe early on. Corn, very efficient later. So we'll kind of try to balance that. We can do maybe 1 of each for a while and see how that goes. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.